Good evening, people. We are now on another episode of iSINGER, the weekly community pod session that sometimes talks about food and cooking, but we'll rest that. We'll rest that for today. It's been such an eventful month with so many different things going on, and it's been like so many ideas have been coming from all of you in these pod sessions. Had a great weekend of Studio Vox. Yeah, some people were there. No names mentioned. One's in the dark. one was in my house just a few days ago. Another lady, she was in Germany. No names mentioned. Yeah. A tin man behind her, and we had such an amazing time. It was people, I digress from the studio, from iSINGER. Did you have an amazing time, Sigrun? Yeah,
it was a marathon of technical tips and everything. I like that very much. It was very good.
Oh yeah, the time did pass really quick, and we got a lot of stuff done. It was brilliant. Bianca, I saw your thumbs up. Bianca was our singer in the booth for the day, and we used her as the experiment, and she was brilliant. People, if you haven't, those of you on replay too, if you haven't got your Studio Vox seat ticket, go and get it. I'm going to drop it in the next newsletter anyway. We still got places. Saturday is coming up. That's going to be our next Studio Vox session from 10 o'clock in the morning, and 6 hours of just sharing, experimenting in the studio right here in St. Anne's. And you won't be disappointed. You absolutely won't be disappointed. If you can't make it for the live session, come and join me virtually. Buy a virtual ticket. Sigrun was on a virtual ticket and she fully enjoyed it. Bianca was not on a virtual ticket. She was right here next to me in the flesh, and we had an amazing time. Michelle, I'm going to see you very soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you're going to enjoy this. It's lovely. But what I love is that Studio Vox is bouncing off of the community discussion, because it seems like I feel like the information that we're getting now is being put into practice. People are like coming out of their shell a bit more and asking questions and feeling a bit more experimental. What I'm loving is that you're not relying on me going, is that how we do it, Clinton? You're actually saying, could we do it this way, Clinton? And I think that's fantastic that we are applying it in our sessions and developing as we're going along, experimenting as we're going along. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Was you going to say something, Sigrun?
I just wondered, where have all these faces gone?
I don't know.
It's so dark.
Where? I'll put mine on for you, Sigrun.
Yeah.
That
I've got that background.
I felt like I was on a radio station with you, Sigrun. I thought I was on a podcast by ourselves and we had just listeners in. Don't crash, please. Yeah, just please keep your hands on the steering wheel and your eyes on the screen. Oh dear. I want to talk about a couple of things later on, but I really want to hear, like I said, this is a community pod discussion, and I really want to give the forum in my first half of my sessions to you all, free to ask questions on what is the things that are niggling in your head as performers, not only just to ask questions for me to answer, but also for us to share with each other our experiences, because some people have the missing puzzle to the others. Yeah. And I just know life isn't life isn't designed in a way that you have one person going da, 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 and everyone going yes ma'am or yes sir. It doesn't work that way. What I believe in is what I saw in a wildlife program. I believe it was David Attenborough. He had a wildlife program, and he called it swarm technology. Swarm, SWARM technology. And let me show you this. Let me share with you this, because this is really from like November onwards. This is where I'm definitely going. This is where we are definitely going with our mission statement of activating 1 million voices. And it's really how I developed as a singer. It's how I developed and grew as a singer, not by being in lectures or being in one-to-ones, but it was actually the collective information of the people, the cohorts, the teams, the people around you, the people that are your peers, your compadres, all growing together and learning together. And that's the way you get this variety of great information or great sharing. And swarm technology goes like this. If I remember, I was watching this program, and I never forget it. David Attenborough, he was talking about that life doesn't learn by one person teaching another person. There is in any time where life is getting together to make a new step forward, to grow or to learn or to show or to know. Life doesn't do individual learning. Life does collective learning. And this collective learning creates a compound effect or an accumulative effect. You know, we are discovering now, especially in the information age, long are the days where education was the one channel of growing in learning. It's increasingly, speedily becoming an archaic way of learning, because we have so many different ways of receiving information now that school is not schooling, is struggling to keep up with the new formulations or the new ways of learning. And I want to, if you're not familiar, if you're not au fait with learning, if you've had like this inhibitor chip in your head lodged in your brain stopping you from learning, if you've had a fear factor or a worry or a concern of stepping over the threshold of knowing something by way of failure, then I want to let me invite you to usher you into a new way of learning. And that way is by way of swarm technology. And so David Attenborough goes on to talk about, forgive me if I get it wrong, but you'll get the gist of it. There was this bank. There was a bank like this, and then it just cliffed off, and then into this like stream, quite a violent stream you had to cross over. And in the stream, there were crocodiles or alligators, choose your pick. You're doomed both ways, really. Mind you, there's one you should swim towards. If you're a human being, you have more chance, so they say. But to the animals that were on the bank, they were in trouble. But the animals, I think it was the wildebeest, had to cross over the bank. They had to cross over from one bank to through the stream of the crocodiles or the alligators, and then back up the other side. And there were like thousands of wildebeest. And the wildebeest were about to cross over, but then also there were the zebras. And the zebras, far more individually an intelligent creature than probably the wildebeest profess to be. Yeah, I don't know, just by the way they move. The wildebeest move in herds of thousands, but the zebras, their herds are smaller. But what happened is that the two animals went toward the bank to cross over. They had to cross over. And what happened was the wildebeest said, right, what we're going to do is we're going to charge at the cliff of the bank. I mean, literally. The bank went like this, zoom down, and then zoom up. And the first, like the first, I don't know, like the first legion of wildebeest, I mean, Sigrid, they literally charged at the bank. So much so that it eroded the cliff of the bank. And what their mode of operation was is if we charge hard enough, we will slowly level out the bank so it does that rather than that. And you saw these wildebeest charging until the bank went like this. And then when it came to confronting the crocodiles, they literally all together charged. Zoom! The crocodiles had no chance. They just went over. They just went through them. One or two got caught, but by and large, these crocodiles were more fearful. Thousands of wildebeest charging at them than trying to think about lunch. So they're like, "Oh, we're in a dilemma here." The hunter has become the hunted because they saw the masses of them, and then they charged at the other side of the bank until the other side of the bank eroded. What do you reckon that happened to as the herds of wildebeest gradually behind the hundreds and the thousands come? The ones at the back found it easier to go down the bank and up the bank because it was leveled out as a ramp. So ultimately, what happened was that a lot more wildebeest just went right through and up with ease. The first set found it hard, but as it got gradually towards the back, they were just until the banks were leveled out and they were just going through and up. It was easy to cross over. Meanwhile, the zebras on the other side were more individualistic. So they're like, oh, well, let's just meander down the sides. We'll go around the side. It's still cliff area, kind of cliffy kind of thing, but they were going down the sides almost like the goats were. And they thinned out into long strips of single files. What do you reckon happened? The crocodiles saw them singularly. And the crocodiles in the stream just picking them off one by one. They just ate them. And they were going until the zebras lost faith and had to retreat. Now, the reason why I illustrate that is because when we are learning, sometimes when we are learning as an individual, it is far more harder to cross over the stream rather than when we learn as a collective. We can take chunks at the obstacles. And the more we take chunks at the obstacles, one at a time, other people benefit from you taking chunks. And so the herds were indiscriminately taking chunks, bit at a time, taking turns until they could cross over smoothly. Now, life is actually that way. Collective learning is actually stronger than individual learning. And so I discovered that when in my life as a singer, with other groups of singers, when we grew together, all still different variations. Remember, no two pebbles on the beach are weathered the same. So you're going to have different outcomes. But what's going to happen is that you each take turns at building each other's courage by taking pots at the cliff of learning. Let's call it that. Now we're in a metaphor. And so the whole premise of these discussions is, or these, this community that we're building, is that we take chunks together, we learn together, we commune together. That sounds beautiful. I heard Sigrun say, that sounds beautiful where you've done that. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe try something like this. She's spoken to some people on workshops. And then someone else would say something. B would say something. Tasha, we had Donna, we had a wonderful session last week. We were experimenting, we were talking with each other. And so my thing is for you individually, if I can leave anything with you at all, this for you, this motivation, is with me or without me, doesn't matter. Find yourself an accountability buddy, an accountability partner. Because what will happen is that you'll start to grow with each other. It could be 2, it could be 3 people. Because the more you do that, the more you start bouncing off each other. The more you start to trust each other with the truth. Yeah. How do you think I sound? Yeah, I think it sounds good. Just watch out for that bit there. And maybe just tune in here. Finding someone that's completely different from you could also be good. Maybe have someone different from you and someone similar to you. And when you do this, if you remember when we were doing 30 days to find your voice, we was cultivating this environment, weren't we? By way of the praise sandwich, by way of the end performances, of which we're going to be doing later on in the year. We're going to be doing a lot more of these type of performances for those of you that are going to join me in my next adventure. And so finding yourself someone that sings alongside of you, that wants to go to the next level. Finding your tribe, not my tribe, your one, yeah, will help you to develop you and grow by way of you each chomping at the bits, rather than feeling like this is a solo affair. Although ultimately that's what you want it to be. Case in point, I've got about 4 or 5 singers around me that are my peers. I got 1 or 2 singers on me that are way above me. And I'll still go to them and say, what do you think about that? And they're like, oh yeah, I think that was amazing. Could have done it a bit like this and a bit like that. I got some people that are way above me as singers, but in terms of coaching, I'm way above them. So there's this like lateral mentoring, but from different standpoints. Does that make sense? And the reason why I'm impressing this upon you all is because you all have a passion to discover your voice. You will have a real passion to discover your voice. And instead, you know me by now. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. We don't want to be doing that. We want to be trying to find new ways to create this swarm, like a bumblebee hive. Swarm of people a community that you can find and say, oh my gosh, yeah, I can go to my community and we're all growing at the same time. Like I said, it doesn't have to be with me. You can grow it organically. Is everyone resonating with what I'm saying? Anyone want to jump in? Can't be that good.
Yes.
Who said that?
It's me, Bianca.
Oh,
Can you
Bianca.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Okay. I would just add to what you already said. It's find someone who appreciates and respects your way you are going.
Yeah.
And is willing to not to put you down or pull you down, to grow with each other. And it's like building a ladder.
That's right.
So even you are on a different level, help the other person to reach the same level or even get to the next level together. That's what I think is important. And you have to find people who are in the same mindset, I would say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you just said.
Say that last bit again, Bianca.
Oh, yeah, I just read what you wrote down in the chat. Build a ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, the mindset doesn't, you don't have to be twins. You don't have to be completely equal, but you can be complementary. You know? Anyone else got anything to add? Cigarette in your face. What are you doing?
I'll say something. So yeah, so I have a friend as well who she's a professional singer.
Yeah.
But I think when I decided to get back to music, she was kind of my accountability partner in a sense.
Yeah.
But she was identifying my confidence ahead of me. And it wasn't, I think what you're saying there, the person needs to be also at the same, maybe the same level as you, or wanting to work on things just like you do, because I felt like she was so advanced. It was kind of hard for me to be honest about where I was. Does that make sense? So I think it's important to also have somebody that you can be honest with. Because as I said, even though it helped that she could identify, my confidence, she was like, the moment you get your confidence, you'll be at a different level. But at the time I was just like, I couldn't understand what that meant. I'm glad she said it, because it helped me to kind of go on that journey and try and figure it out. And then I realized it's more of a psychological thing than anything else. Does that make sense? But in addition to that, I think it's good to have somebody that you can bounce off of that's on the same path as you. So I feel like being able to just be transparent and honest about what you're struggling with, I think that's helpful.
100%. Michelle.
I think as well, Tasha, I don't know if it's the same thing, but sometimes you can feel intimidated because that person is like leaps and bounds, or maybe where we want to be, it can be a bit intimidating. So then we also might not be as open as we need to be or we want to be in order to grow. So I've had that, so I fully understand that. Yeah.
So this ladder, be reading to my notes again. This ladder is a series of steps, isn't it? And it starts off small, doesn't it? It starts off, basic. Starts off with, what do you think this line sounds like? It starts off with challenges that we all hear. It could start off with it being a wider group, and then by way of natural selection, you start finding people as you go along, and as you find your tribe, your groups become smaller, and then you can mix it, because one person, you can get something from one person, and something you can get something from others, and it's about everyone having a code of conduct of being open to say, well, I'm going to use this person for this bit, and then use this person for that bit. There's some people that I know that are good at riffing, for example. See your hand, Michelle. And so I'm going to go and speak to those people that are good at riffing, and then I got someone that's good at tone, and so I'm going to go to that person that's good at tone, and I got someone that's good at timing, practicing timing, and I've got someone that's good at practicing scales, etc. Find the strengths. And this is where we have to start this is where later on we'll take inventory of what we can and cannot do. And once you start filling in the puzzles and start actively going for them, because you can't go for things that you can't see. But if you actually say, well, I can see I can do that, but I can see I can't do that, but I can see someone can do that, and I can see, then you're going to start working, you're going to start putting the jigsaw puzzles together. Does it make sense? And so I think it's one of those things where you start to look for, and I really, really encourage you to do this. I'm not talking about a vocal coach. I'm not talking about Clinton. I'm talking about finding, because I want you to be independent learners. Yeah. You're supposed to come to me every now and again. But I want you to build a herd of people around you. Yeah. More on that later. Anyone else want to add? Oh, no, Michelle, I saw your hand, sorry.
Do you want Bianca to go first? Because I asked
didn't
one
I
already.
say, oh, sorry, I just had a memory lapse there. B, sorry, go ahead.
I didn't have to add anything. I already said anything. So Michelle, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Bianca. I think it's also, I think what's really is really important. I think I haven't done this before, but I think in terms of knowing when you, I don't know how to say. I want to be positive, but I know this may happen with some people. I don't know. So sometimes you might reach out to someone because they're so much better at something. Or like for me, I'm really rubbish at scales. All the class I've done with you, can't retain any of the information, Clinton. So I'll be learning it for an eternity. But it's nice to know that you can go to people that are advanced, that are humble enough to give you the positive critique that you need, because what you don't want is people that or people that might get tired of you asking questions or tired of working with you. It's almost very important also to pull back if that's not healthy for you in some way, and they maybe just harass you instead, Clinton. But I'm just thinking in terms of, as I said, I know that scales I'm shocking, yeah, but I could probably do it once I retain the information, but I might drive somebody else that's really good at scales nuts because I just can't remember it. So I think it's just making sure that we're all really, like you said, the code of conduct, making sure we're all really respectful. And if you are very advanced, maybe being humble enough to, be patient with those that aren't quite at your stage. I don't know if that's the right way I'm sort of saying it. I don't know.
All right, so there's let me do a bit of a pushback on that. So I think so there are some topics that will require a group, some topics that require collectives or smaller collectives, some topics that will be independent learning, some topics will be appraising and reflection, and some topics will be one-on-one, whether it's you and a coach or you and someone else. Yeah. Once you establish a code of conduct in each of those environments, just named off the top of my head, once everybody knows the code of conduct, then people start to grow. So for example, most people find it hard to tackle this subject of music or their own musical intelligence. Just like the other forms of intelligence, physical intelligence, mathematical intelligence, existential intelligence, literary intelligence, they're just different categories. But the reason why people do that is because they're dealing with the ethereal, and they're dealing with the invisible, and making that sound turn into something that makes sense. Now, one of the key components to tackling this subject in any of those environments that I just mentioned, whether it's in a group, whether it's collective, whether it's choir, ensemble, duet, trio, quartet, sextet, whatever, the key to it is patience. Patience produces power, and what I mean by power is the ability to function. So you have to approach this subject without limiting beliefs. So touching upon that scales thing, it is inevitable. Listen to what I'm saying. This goes for anyone, I don't care who they are. It is inevitable if you become relentless at repetition to achieve. I'm going to say it one more time. I'll fall on my sword on this one. It is inevitable. Not maybe, not it could happen, not it will happen. It is inevitable. If you relentlessly repeat something by way of force, by way of nature, you will get it. Doesn't matter what it is. Because let me flip it on its head. By way of repetition, you have told yourself you can't get it or you won't be getting it. That is repetition. By way of cycle, you timed it that anytime the trigger comes to be challenged or the wall comes, you've said, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. So you're actually using the same procedure, but in an opposing force. And the inevitability of you not getting it is now a confirmation bias. So all you have to do is flip the whole thing on its script. Right now, I wanna lose some weight and I want to get back some strength and I want a six-pack. That's my aim right now. Yeah, off subject. It's inevitable if I do certain things. But really what I should say is it's inevitable when I do certain things. The problem is that when you apply if, you are applying the possibility to succeed or fail. When you apply the word, when you replace if, this is probably in Tasha's zone now, she loves words. When you apply when, you go to a boxer and you say, if you lose, they'll stop you and go, when I win. Even when the chips are down. A boxer's mindset is a fabulous mindset. I love boxing. I love the mindset, the psychology of boxing. It has to be undoubtedly the hardest sport in the world. For with the training and the strength and the conditioning. And I apply the same relentless mentality in our programs. And so I'm saying to any of you, if you establish a communication with someone else that's accountable, and you both are in the same ballpark of that mindset, when we get this right, how? Well, we do these things. Then we'll get it right. How many times have you been in it? Someone's been in a session with me and I've said, do it again. Do it again. Again. Do it again. One more time. No, and again. Okay, let's go one more time. One more time. And you're like, God damn. And then all of a sudden, 2 minutes to the end of your session, you get it right. And you go, oh my gosh, I just got it right. What do? Do you not spend the 42 minutes or whatever it is? Is it not worth the sacrifice to getting it right? So I'm saying to you again, relentless repetition reaps rewards. You can't reap rewards until you relentlessly repeat. Can't. Anyone want to add? Sigrun, did you your hand on the mic? Go on, Mike. Go on, Sigrun.
Well, I would like to go back to the picture of the ladder. Ladder can be a very unsafe thing.
Yes.
You don't have somebody who is keeping it, or you push it, you will, but where does this ladder go? Tasha and Michelle, that would be very interesting to know exactly what do I want. If you say to me, there will be next time this from the sofa to the heaven, yeah, I am in an age where I'm back from the stage to the sofa, yeah. And now I have to build, and the first step is, I think, is to build a picture Where do I want to go to? I know some pictures. Yeah. And then to go, I think my first step will be, I'm honest, because the best friend I ever got is myself. And my first step will be to activate this one. Clinton has told us to get this tripod to put the phone on. Yeah, to more and more record the things I'm trying. Yeah. I've been on stage for a long time and very often and have sang there, but in another way, always loud, always with pressure. Clinton has brought me to another way of singing. It's very interesting. Yeah. But my first step is, where is this letter going to? Is it safe? And first step, I'm my best friend. I'm in a choir, in a little choir, but they are so diverse people. Yeah. But you are so young. I think what Clinton has said, to find people who have the same letter, that's terrific. Yeah. Because I think you both will be somewhere on a big stage. Yeah. I see that.
Thanks, Sidran.
Thank you.
You just feel like everything's going to be all right when she talks, isn't it?
Absolutely. You know what popped into my head was, I'm not scared anymore. Like, because one of the things was, I was always happy writing songs, but I'm writing songs for other people. Do you know, in my mind? And then when it came to, I'm gonna sing my own songs, that didn't really sit well with me for a long time. And then, and the reason why was because I didn't want to be on the stage. Do you know what I mean? That was the thing for me. It's like, I don't necessarily want to be on the stage, and then it's like getting my mind past that hurdle, and now I'm not scared anymore. That makes sense. And I actually thought, I'm gonna do some karaoke just to play with, that thing that you talked about last week, where you just sort of singing and you're not singing with any real purpose, like you're just doing it like a child, that childlike mentality. And then can I just say one more thing? There's a little child singing in the supermarket the other night, and she was singing this song. I can't remember the song, but the song was so beautiful. But she's not even aware how we were her audience. All of us in the supermarket were just listening to this little child singing away, and it was so beautiful, I'm telling you. And that's exactly where I want to be. I just want to be where I don't think about it too much.
That's a big picture. That's a good picture. I want to be relaxed on the stage, and I want to be relaxed when I sing my songs. That's a very nice picture.
Thank you.
And my question is, why can't you be?
Exactly.
Why can't you be? Why can't you aim for that? Why can't you? I'm trying to find. I did a little advert called the Karaoke Singer. You just brought it back to me. I'm trying to find it for you. Why can't you be? And the reason why you can't, the reason why you choose not to be, it's not that you can't be. You choose. You decide. Is because the pain of staying the same is not, the pain of change needs to be smaller than the pain of staying the same. Because if the pain of change is smaller in your mind, then you change. But the pain, does it make sense?
100%, yes.
Tony Robbins said that. The the pain of change. If you can make the pain of change smaller in your mind, then the pain of staying the same will be inconsequential. It won't matter. And so, and let's face it, people. There is no pain. There is no pain at all. The reason why you guys hang around with myself and with each other is because there's this burning desire to do what you want to do, and you see part of your dream in me. It's true. And then when you look at each other, you see part of the dream in each other. Yeah. So you might watch my videos and you go, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I want to do that. He's teaching us stuff like that. But you've got to make the pain of change nah, man, it's nothing. But the pain of staying the same is not. Let me flip it on its head. The pain of staying the same is not painful enough. I'll flip it on its head now. The pain of staying the same, this discomfort, it's not discomforting enough for you to change. So you're in this pain of staying the same, but you can live with it. And you give excuses why you don't do this, or the reason why you don't get this bit right, and blah, blah, blah. But if the pain of staying the same was so painful, you would want to change. You'd want to change. And so I'm trying to get you to think of that. I want to change. I actually want to do this thing. I stumbled across your thing again, Michelle. I'm going to hand it over to you in a minute. I stumbled across your performance. It's proud. It's mad proud. Yeah, I saw. I don't know how it came across. It just came across my Instagram feed. I was like, mad proud. So I saw you put into practice what we were practicing. I saw you doing it on stage in front of a few thousand people, and you didn't look phased. Yeah. Now imagine if you was doing that all the time. If you was regularly on this. You got one life, people. You got one life. You want to do it. Go on. What are you going to say?
I think it's really funny with what you just said about it being one life, because who wants to live a life unfulfilled and say, what if? I mean, I don't have children, but I have 14 nieces and nephews, and I can't tell them, you can do anything you want to do, but auntie's hiding behind the sofa, scared to do anything. But I think with that performance that I did, people never know what goes on behind the scenes. And I remember there was a little bit of negativity from some artists that had gone on before. Let's just say, not just towards me, but to a few of us back there. Yeah. So we were just sitting there. One artist is behind me, having an anxiety attack, but doesn't want anyone to help her. Just leave me alone. So we left her. Another guy's sweating buckets on the other side. Had a conversation with him and say, "Look, you're here. You're good enough to be here. Yeah. Now is your time to go do your thing." Yeah. And negative people, we'll call them negative people because I don't want to say anything more, came to me and said, "Oh, aren't you, my singing name is Shandy." So they said, "Oh, Shandy, aren't you nervous?" And I thought, who says that to someone? Like 6 or 7 minutes when you're going, but I was in this zone, right? I was very at peace. I'd driven Clinton mad just singing the same song over a 3-month period, yeah? So I prepared. And I looked up when they asked me this, and I said, really slowly, I said, I took a moment, I should say. And I said, "No, I'm not nervous." I said, "It's taken me 3 years to get here. And I intend to go on that stage and enjoy every single minute." And in that moment, I realized that I got to a really good, don't get me wrong, I'm not even that religious, but I must have prayed about 15 times before I go backstage. But I think I got to a zone where I just thought, do you know what, Michelle, you're here. You're here. So go out there and do your thing. And what was good for me is that one of the hosts, I've known him for years. So he made a joke. So I love cracking jokes and stuff. So by the time thank you, Tasha. By the time I came out, I was in such a good place, and I was laughing about the joke when I came on stage, and it just made the whole thing fantastic. But I would say, if it wasn't, and I've told you this before, Clinton, and I would say it again, if I hadn't had that 3 months of preparation, I would not have been in that good place. So I will always thank you for that. Sorry, I finished now, so I went on a bit there, but yeah.
No, yeah, nearly make me well up with tears. nearly start to cry.
But you know, I don't know if you got, you know, there's exercises that you did with me in the preparation, like I don't know if anyone has done them, but I don't want to say them because, but where you had to kind of close your eyes and picture yourself in different environments, and even in front of those that there's a particular one where you talked about envisaging people that you know who may have a dislike for you in the audience, and having roles of these people. And for me, that was a couple of members of my family, and it was really painful, you know. And I pictured, and I thought, if I'm going to do this exercise, I'm going to do it properly. And I remember feeling like I was going to cry in the session. I think I got a bit choked up, but it was so powerful. And I think, as you say, it's about learning. You know, if you didn't share your knowledge with us, then some of us would never get on that stage, or not get on the stage in the way that I did. And I feel, as you say, I feel very proud of myself, and I thank you. Yeah, really, really make the difference.
No, you really got to stop talking now, because you really are trying.
Yeah, I have on it. Sorry, yeah, sorry. Don't want to get it all mushy now.
You're really trying to make me cry. Come on, stop it, nose. Stop talking. You can't make me cry. Ah, dear. Yeah, no, listen. It's about to get all emotional here. Bianca experienced the same thing. For those of you that don't know, the experiment is called the 4 rooms, and Bianca, again, take her crazy self, brought her up. She come over all the way over to the UK, and she did and she said the same. She just said in the comment section she had the same experience. In fact, to be fair, everybody has the same experience when I take them through the 4 rooms, and like I said to my dad, we're going to the gym at the moment. You know, my dad's got Parkinson's, find it hard to walk, you know, losing his motor skills and stuff, and I put him on a treadmill, and what we do is we do sprints about 4 times, 1 minute worth of hard sprint, till his chest is burning, and then he comes off, and then he has to hit my hands, test these reflexes, and there's a little bit of a breath. He's still dying. He's like, and I say, get back on the cross trainer. And he's got to sprint till his heart's coming out of his chest, and then as he's come off the chest, he's staggering off, and I'm like, get up, go. And I finish it, and then he finishes, and he's half dying, and he's like this. I said, okay. I said, we either let Parkinson's destroy us, or we destroy ourselves and build ourselves back up. We're going to fight. We're going to fight. I'd rather us destroy ourselves and build ourselves up and be the best versions of ourselves now than let someone else destroy us. And that's why when Michelle, when you went into that room, when you went into that place in your real time, and those people that came, you could have said a few choice words, but you didn't. What you did, you went into your zone. You were prepared. Do you understand me? You didn't want to use any emotional rhetoric to respond. You was in the zone. And this is what happens when we prepare ourselves. And that's just me and you. What happens when you got a team of people looking for the same desire? You feel the energy in the room. You feel you're gonna change. And that's what I want to encourage you guys to look for. Is to look for that in in your tribes. Again, it doesn't have to be on this forum. Yeah, you'll always have this space. It's fine. Bounce off people that want in the same mindset, so you can move forward. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely wonderful. The things that you're talking about, I mean, again, what we're talking about is preparation. It's about being prepared. And the more you practice to destroy the things, the foundations that limit you, and to build a new foundation, the more foundations that you build, the more ability that you have to build up higher. And so to answer your question, Sigrun, how high is the ladder? Where does the ladder go? It's as high as you want it to go. How stable is it? Well, if you build and you get people to hold the ladder for you, you can climb as high as you want to. And it really is about, and to be fair, I'm going to tell you this now for those of you on replay, what I'm coaching you with right now, this is not just indicative to singing. You know this. Sigrun, you know this from being in education. This is, you know this from Tasha, from being in your legal world. Michelle, you know this from it being in your place in your company. You know this. B, you know this from where in your company. Donna, you know this from where you're in your professional world. The more and more you have people linking together on the same or similar mindset, the stronger you become. And that's also about the preparation of how you build that world around you. You're in control of that world. Listen, I'm building a world around me right now. Yeah. When I did 30 Days to Find Your Voice, I built a world around that, and you all came. Don't you think I was nervous building it? No? Of course I was. When I built Song Coach, I built Choir Coach. It's a world of uncharted territory. If you build it, people will come. Remember what I said to you, when your why is big enough, WHY, your how will follow. HOW. Me being dyslexic, I turned the how into WHO. Who will show up? People, I'm going to say this to you, the more you move forward, the more your why is passionate. The more your why is passionate, the more the how, the objectives. When your aim is just on fire, your objectives will show up. Right, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do that. Because the passion of the aim is running through the objectives. We know this in teaching and learning, don't we, Sigrun? When our objectives, when our aim is powerful, and then the objectives, the steps in the ladders, they might start small steps first, incrementally, and then they enlarge and they get wider and wider. But rest assured, when that happens, the who. Oh, I know how to build that step. You put it here like this, and I think I can build the second step. That's what you guys demonstrated when you were doing your praise sandwiches and singing in day 29 and 30, 28, 29 and 30. That's what you were showing when you were helping each other, when we were doing those of you that came on the Clintons catch-up walks in the mornings. That's what you're demonstrating when we were showing swarm technology. The reason why you can get through those 30 days is because loads of people were in the same mindset. And even though your songs were different and they were diverse, you appreciated everybody what they delivered, and you were looking with different eyes. You were exposed to different sounds and you could see differently. And that's what singing's about. Yes, it's a subjective, participatory activity where we listen. But we come to a common place where we're like, oh, I like that. No, that was nice. God, that was a bit hard. That's nice though. Maybe back off a little bit on here. Maybe next time when you're doing it here. Maybe when, you know, we're dealing with stuff in acoustics in different rooms now. So the song might be different in one room to another. Building up information, but we do it together. Is that good, people?
Awesome. Awesome, Quentin.
Bianca says the sky's the limit. Tasha says very inspiring. People on catch up and replay, I hope you've enjoyed this evening of our community pod discussion. If you know there's someone that would enjoy this message and would, Donna, thank you very much. Great info. Thank you, Donna. If you know someone that would enjoy this this community pod discussion, please feel free to send the link, which will be surrounded on this page, because you should have received this on this one and only page, and send them the link for the people, for those your friends and those people that want to grow in their learning, to sign up to our future community pod discussions. Listen, we're not just activating voices by way of having lessons and coaching sessions. No, we're activating voices by people getting information. So if you want to send this information to someone by way of them signing up, please feel free. There's a link probably around the bottom side here, and you can get them to join through this. People, we're also ramping up to something towards November. We're going to be taking on our new flagship. This is the one and only thing we're doing, and this is called From the Sofa to the Stage. I'm dead excited about it, and there's going to be more details to follow. But it is what the title says. I'm going to be taking my people from the sofa to the stage, and we have a journey that is happening. Shall I show you? I'll show you on replay. I'll show you on catch up briefly. Shall I show you? Let me find it for you. It's a quick map. It's a journey map. I'll tell you what I'll do. You join me on the other link down below and book a discovery call with me, and I can show you personally. Yeah, book a call with me, and because it's getting, when the night has come and it's past 8:30 and the moon, join me on the discovery call and book. If you're curious to know what's from the sofa to the stages, click the discovery call link. It's a Calendly link. You'll see Calendly spelled differently, and you can have a chat with me 20 minutes and I'll show you what we are going to be doing. It's literally what it is, from the sofa to the stage. I'm looking for people who would like to be coached, and I'm going to be showing you everything that's inside my head. There's no more 30 days, no more song coaches, no more Studio Vox after this. It's going to be all in one place. Power to Perform. I'm bringing on some of my friends that are from the industry. They're going to be joining me throughout the year too. It's going to be a barrel of amazement, and you will come out different, guaranteed. You will come out different and changed, and then ultimately end up on the stage. Yeah. Please join in, and I can't think of anything else I need to say except for did you enjoy yourself, people? I asked you that already.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
You're good people. So join us next week, Wednesday, again for another one, and tell your friends, and I will see you again. Yeah, people, take care of yourselves.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Bye.
Cool, guys.